Hey there. Let me ask you something. You ever think that maybe DIYing your website could actually end up costing you more than hiring a professional? Let's think about it. Maybe you bought that $300 template thinking that you'd have this stunning website up and running in a weekend. But weeks later, you're still struggling to make it look good. You're feeling completely overwhelmed by everything you have to learn and wondering if maybe you are just way in over your head. Top of that, your free trial is about to expire, and meanwhile, your business isn't making any sales online. Sometimes that budget-friendly DIY option, well, it might just be silently costing you thousands in lost revenue and opportunity costs. Hi, if we haven't met yet, I'm Meg. I'm the founder of Floating Lotus Design, and I'm a Squarespace web designer, an SEO specialist, and your personal harbinger of doom. Just kidding about that last part. But today in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to recognize when you actually are in over your head and whether or not you can forge ahead. And I'll let you know why it's totally normal to feel that way so that you don't feel bad about it. And I'll give you some options if you're already stuck in that DIY quicksand. Because sometimes the cheapest option can sometimes end up being the most expensive decision you'll ever make. So before we get down into the nitty-gritty, I just want to give you a little background and a little bit of a disclaimer here. I am not anti-DIY, quite the opposite. I really truly believe in DIY, and if you are new to my channel and you take a look around my videos, you'll find that most of it is very DIY friendly. There's a lot of tutorials, a lot of tool reviews, things like that. I really love being able to support people in their journey of creating and maintaining their own websites. So I am absolutely 100% on board with DIY. That being said, just because people can DIY doesn't always mean they should. It really isn't for everyone. Now, most folks who do start the DIY journey start with using templates. I'm also a huge fan of templates. I'll be making some myself. They can make the process smoother and easier for you than starting with a completely blank slate. Now, templates will run you a few $100s, and they're great if you have a very limited budget. And, time is also a consideration. Maybe you actually really wanted to hire a designer, but the fact of the matter is you need to get your website up and running, and some designers, well, not only expensive, can also be booked out for months, and so that might not be time that you have to wait. So grabbing a template, whether it's one that you downloaded for free from your website platform or that you've purchased from a template shop, can be a great way to get your website up and running, especially if this is your very first website. Now, here's some of the scenarios that I find a lot of people in. They downloaded or bought that template and they dive in, and pretty quickly they start to realize it's a little more work than they thought it was going to be, and that it is taking way more time than they thought it would. They just find that it's harder than they thought, and they start to feel overwhelmed and that they're in over their head, that this wasn't as easy as just, hey, drag and drop and type some stuff here and press a button and you're good to go. Meanwhile, they might also have some pressure building on you because you're doing this all under some free trial timeline and it might be running out, and then you're going to have to pay for a plan, and you're not sure if you want to do that until your site's really ready to go live, or what if you decide to bail altogether? You don't want to put out more money that you may not be able to recoup. Either that, or you're just stuck paying money until your website's ready. Meanwhile, you're not making any money off your website. Everywhere you look these days, there's just tons of really great website platforms out there that do make it easier for people to DIY their own websites, but that anybody can do it appeal of the drag and drop platforms and boom, you're done, can make anybody feel like, hey, I can do this, no problem. But there's so much more to it than that when you kind of lift up and look under that hood. There's lots of other things that you will find out you need to know about. How to source images with proper licensing, how to write your copy, just learning the platform that you're building your website on and how to navigate it and maintain it. My other favorite topic, SEO. There's basic SEO you're going to have to be able to implement. How about getting on Google Search Console, and what do your analytics mean? How to just connect your domain so that you can actually publish that website. How about setting up your email? What legal policies are required? The list goes on. And most folks don't know that they need to know about this stuff. And how can they? You don't know what you don't know, and who's going to tell you, right? So are you going to have to search for this info on your own out on the interwebs? Searching YouTube videos and Facebook groups and support articles from the platform that you're building on? Or Did the template provider that you bought your template from provide materials or courses or checklists that will help explain all this to you and walk you through the process as you build your website? Is there a checklist somewhere? Anybody? Anybody? Give me a checklist. Now, you may soldier through all this and do really well and build yourself a really nice looking site that makes you happy and you get it out there, but you come to find over time that, well, it's not working. It's not converting. You're not making money. You're losing money because it's just hanging out there in space, not doing the job you need it to do. This is when your budget friend has become your budget enemy. So, how do you know if you're going down a rabbit hole that you need to get out of and take another direction? How do you know if that few $100 investment is actually costing you thousands? Let's take a step back and do kind of a high-level back-of-the-envelope math here. Now, this doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be incredibly detailed. It's just going to give you a sense of where you're at. So, first, write down how much you spent buying that template. Next, how much is your hourly rate? What do you charge for your services on an hourly basis? Now, how much time, how many hours are you spending building your website, learning the platform? Give an estimate for that. 20 hours, 50 hours, 100 hours, and multiply that by your hourly rate. That's how much money you're not making by billing other people for your work and what you do that you're spending on your website. Now, what about the potential revenue that you're losing in sales while your website isn't up and active and working? Get a ballpark estimate of that. Add all those numbers up, and what do you get? Are you now looking at potential thousands of dollars lost in that opportunity cost of lost time and resources, your own resources, that you aren't working on things that are bringing in revenue into your business? That should give you a pretty good idea. Now, the case may be that you're not. Maybe it's pretty close and you're doing all right and you're in good shape and you can continue to soldier on and get your website up and running on your own. But if that time and that number is getting bigger and bigger, you might want to start thinking about some other options, because pretty soon you might find that that cheap DIY option that you thought you had is potentially costing you thousands in opportunity costs and delayed revenue or sales. So what to do? Now, I want to broach the next section here and say that the things I'm going to point out to you are appropriate whether or not you are currently in this scenario right now and you're trying to figure out what you want to do, or maybe you're thinking about buying a template and DIYing your website. I want you to ask yourselves the following questions to help you decide whether or not you want to move forward. The first question to ask yourself: how much customization does your template need? Is the way that it's structured and set up meet the needs of your business in that you don't have to add a lot of pages or sections or do major redesigns or customizations? If you can just change the color palettes and the fonts and upload images and copy without having to do too much overhaul and design, that's something to take in consideration. If, on the other hand, it's going to take a lot of customization, adding pages, adding functionality and features, that's going to add to the time and overall cost to you of working with that template. Second, what resources are available to you? I mentioned earlier, are you going to have to go out and find the information yourself on your platform's help articles on YouTube and Facebook groups to figure out how to work in the platform and to create your content in your website? Are you going to have to do that all by yourself? Or did the template shop that you bought your template from provide you with those resources? Good checklists, maybe a course on how to update your template and how to work in the platform. If you're going to have to do it all on your own, you're going to have to invest more time and a little more ingenuity. Now, most good template shops are going to provide you with good resources and all of the information you're going to need to be able to work in the platform, update your template, and get your website launched efficiently. So make sure you're looking into that. And if you have those resources available to you, use them. Next, how much time do you have? And I want you to look at this from two perspectives. One is, how much time do you personally have available to be working on building your website? How many hours a week do you have? Do you have 5 hours, 10 hours, 1 hour, know that that's going to take into consideration how long from start to finish it's going to take you to publish that website. If you only have a few hours a week, it's going to take you longer. Just know that. The second time consideration you want to think about is, do you have a deadline that you need to get your website published and launched? So if you are looking at, I've only got 2 weeks to get this website built and done and launched, you have to know that ahead of time. Or is it kind of open-ended? So I think those things you need to understand where you're starting from. Now, how much do you want to learn? You don't need to become an expert in your website platform, in SEO, in copywriting, or any of those things. But you're going to need to learn some basics so that you can work in your platform and do the things that you need to do. So how much of your time are you willing to invest in that? And also, how much do you actually want to learn that stuff? It's okay if you don't want to learn that stuff. But if you're someone who's curious and you like diving in and learning new skills, then working on template and DIYing is going to give you a good opportunity to do that. Finally, you're going to have to ask yourself, what's most important to you? Is it the money or is it the time? If it's the money and the budget is your biggest consideration and you need to stay in that DIY or template few $100 budget, then you need to understand that you're going to have to dig in and you are going to have to take the time to learn some of these things, work with the resources that are available to you, and you may have to sacrifice speeding to launch for getting up to speed in building your website. Now, if time is a bigger consideration for you and you do have a deadline to go live, or you don't have time to DIY, or maybe you just don't want to do it now that you've gotten a taste of it, that may be a sign that it's time to hire some help and outlay a little bit more money so you keep yourself from losing more money over time. Now, in my personal experience, I have had clients who were in this position. They downloaded a template and they dove in and started getting into it, and all of a sudden went, whoa, this is too much. I am in way over my head. This is not what I thought it was going to be. I don't think I can do this. And they hired a custom designer, hired me, and built a custom website. Just said, I'm going to start from scratch. I'm going to hire somebody and have them just build out exactly what I want. And I've had clients that did a really good job with DIYing their sites. But after living with a website for some time and having a little bit of experience working their platforms, they knew that they needed some updating or that they weren't really functioning as well as they could. And they wanted a professional eye and some expertise looking at that, particularly when it comes to SEO, because that's something a lot of DIYers and beginners go in and don't really understand the basics of SEO. And so sometimes you need a lot of help straightening that stuff out. So it's not just about the images and the copy and it looking pretty. You need to make sure it's functionally working and strategically working for you. And clients in this position often have understood now that they have seen what goes into this. They value hiring professional help. Now, before I run down what your options are, I want to stop for a moment and I want to validate that if you're in this position and you are asking yourself these questions and you have decided that DIY is not for you, I want you to know that's a good thing. And it doesn't mean you're a failure because you couldn't just do that easy drag and drop website builder platform. It's far greater to be able to stop and realize where it's just not a right fit for you and to know that you're doing the best for your business and yourself by seeking professional help. And in the long run, you're going to have a lot less to fix than you would if you fully built out a site that then needed a major overhaul by a professional later on. So that's also saving you money by avoiding extra costs down the road. So again, sometimes spending a little more money up front will save you a lot of money down the line. So what are your options when it comes to hiring some professional help? The first thing I would do is that if you have purchased your template from a template shop, I'd go back and reach out to that provider and see if they offer a styling service for an additional fee. Many of them do, and that might be a really nice way to work with the person or the team that designed that template and help you get it customized exactly to your needs without having to go to outside help. Next option is to look for a web designer that will help you customize your template. Many designers offer this type of service. Now, some will do it for any template you purchased, and others may only do it if you've bought a template of theirs. The timeline for these can run from anywhere probably from a couple of days, maybe up to a week. And prices are also going to vary, but you can expect to pay anywhere from several hundred to a few $1,000s, depending on the level of service and the complexity of what's included. And then you're going to want to add that on to the price of the template. I should note also that while some designers may offer this as its own standalone service, others may offer this through their VIP or design day services. So you might want to check with some designers there if you're interested in working with them, if that's something that they would provide under that type of service. And finally, your other option is just to throw it all out, start from scratch, and hire a designer to just build you a fully custom, bespoke, from the ground up website that meets your needs exactly. Yes, this will take some time, and yes, it will take more money, but you'll know you're getting exactly what you want, done by a professional with your input, and you can get up and running and have confidence that things are going to be in good working order for quite a long time. So, wrap it up. What I want you to take away from this is, first, don't feel bad if you have found that DIY is not for you. And also, don't panic. Take a breath. Take a step back. If you have an expiring trial looming in front of you, reach out to your website platform and see if you can extend your trial period. Most of them will do that for you. And that can give you a little space to breathe and figure things out before you jump in and pay for a plan. Then go through those questions. Just be honest with yourself and evaluate your time and your money situation and figure out which path forward makes the most sense. There's no right or wrong answer, but you do need to sit down and go through that exercise so you can determine whether or not you are losing more money than you thought you were saving by going the DIY route. So I hope you found that helpful. If you have questions, drop them down in the comments for me. I'd be happy to try and help point you in the right direction. And no matter which direction you choose, whether you continue to go ahead and DIY your website or look for some professional help, I wish you all the best of luck, and I will see you in the next video.